so I was just thinking about how I'm so far behind on any of my YouTubing this month, and it's like the middle, I think it's 17th of April, and I've still not done my March roundup, but it's Bank Holiday Monday and I was like, I can't really be bothered to put all my hair and makeup on and sort everything out, and I thought, you know what? What's Bank Holiday Monday about? Chilling in your pyjamas and just reading some books. So I just thought, you know what, I'm going to do it as I am, makeup free, in my pyjamas, just chilling out on my bed with my teddies, and I just thought I'd talk you through the books I read last month. So I know that I said last month I'd really struggled to read much because I was in a really down month, but thankfully March was much better for me. I started off by finishing this book, Shoot the Damn Dog even. I got this through work. It was like a just spare copy they had around, so it is published by the publisher I work for. It's a memoir of depression by this woman called Sally Brampton, who I think used to do a lot of writing for magazines and things like that. I hadn't really heard of her before, and I think this book actually triggered a lot of my bad thoughts and mental health issues I had at the end of February. Now, not to say that this isn't a good book, it's an amazing book, I just found it personally quite triggering. So I found it a bit weird to review this because actually I think this book is amazing and I kind of want everyone to read it, but maybe you just need to know if you're the kind of person who might get sort of sucked in by that kind of thing. It's all just about this woman and how her like history of the depression, how she got through it, how her vehicles of how she sort of dealt with it and how she came out the other side. I do think this book is really important. It's very honest, really interesting, so give Shoot the Damn Dog a try. Next book I read was from my True Crime book club at work, and that was His Bloody Project. This book was shortlisted for the Man Booker Prize, which is really unusual for a crime novel. It's quite interesting, so it's sort of written as if it's looking back at a case. So it starts off with a guy who's saying, oh, I found these old folders about a crime in his family, and he's looking into them. So the first half of the book consists of those documents and the murderer. So the guy who's done it, this is not like a normal whodunit book at all. The guy totally admits that he has done it. So the first half is him explaining his point of view on things, and that's the first half of the book is his betrayal. And it actually comes across really sympathetic. It's set in the Scottish Highlands about 100 years ago maybe. So it's like a different way of life, so it's really interesting. And then the second half is sort of the court documents and people's portrayals and stuff like that. So it's a really different way of doing a crime novel. It was really interesting, definitely recommend it. Still have some mixed sort of thoughts about the actual what actually happens. So if you read this, feel free to like comment below and let me know what you thought, because I'm really intrigued by what everyone's thoughts, if what he thinks is true is actually 100% true. The next book I read was this. I grabbed it in a charity shop. It is a book about Shakespeare by Bill Bryson. I thought this was going to be a bit different to what it was and end up being a bit more of like a biography. If you know anything about Shakespeare, you'll know it's really hard to write a biography about him because so little is known, and this covers this really well. I've been wanting to read some Bill Bryson for a while. And this was the first Bill Bryson I'd read. I did really enjoy it. I kind of think there's other works of his I would have enjoyed more, but especially if you're starting off with Shakespeare and you don't know anything about it, this is a really interesting, accessible read. It was really quick to get through. So yeah, give that a go. Next is an audiobook. BookBeat are a new audio subscription device like Audible, but unlike Audible, you don't only get one book a month, which is why I never subscribed to Audible before. They, you know, true up front, they gave me a year free to try in exchange for a couple of blog posts, so they don't know I'm also covering it here, but I've listened to it, so I thought I'd add it in. It's Backstory by David Mitchell, who is a British comedian, for those of you who don't know. Now this is where it's interesting, so I'd never read a book like this normally. I would never buy it and sit and read it, but as an audiobook it works really well because comedy comes through and they're reading themselves. I actually really enjoyed it. I got through it really fast. I think within a day or two maybe, just listening to it after running around. And that has kind of made me, like, definitely like to listen to more of sort of those kind of biography style in here. Because BookBeat's quite new, they don't have the biggest selection like they do on Audible, and I'm kind of hoping they put more of those kind of books in there, because I think for me it's really interesting. And I've read a few more net since then that'll be in next month's roundup, so you can see what I've been feeling about that. But so far I'm enjoying it. And lastly, the fifth book I've read, or the fourth book I've read and the one I've listened to, is this little thing. This is from a series we do at work called 33 1/3. Each one an author will talk about his favourite record. For this one it is Metallica, or the Black Album as it's usually known. This is one I grabbed at work, so you know, again, open. I got it for free from work. I've never read any of these style of books before, so I thought if it was going to be anyone, it was this before, because I really like Black Album by Metallica. It's really short, it's written by a fan, and it's not the greatest. So I've heard mixed things. A lot of people say this guy's such a fan of this music that he's not critical enough, and I kind of agree. Like, it was really good to read, because I don't know too much about Metallica or the Black Album critically. I found interesting the history and the backstory, but if you already knew that, it probably wouldn't add much. A lot of it is just talking about how great they are. At times when he's wording it, it does sound like a fan account, which is a little bit unprofessional maybe. It'd be good to have like a step back in some senses, and I've never read any of them in the series, so I don't know if they're all like that. But if you don't know too much about the Black Album, I'd give it a read, definitely, like I did. I still enjoyed it. But if you are a big Metallica fan, I don't necessarily know how much you'd gain from reading this. But there you have it, my good lazy bank holiday book reading roundup. I hope you enjoyed it. So far April's got off to a decent month. I've read a few books already, I think 3, but I'm now reading a big chunk of books. I'm feeling that'll probably be it for the month, because just being busy, you know how it is. So anyway, I hope you're all having a good chilled weekend or weekday, and I will see you next time. Bye!